Hi, welcome to this lesson on Readysell products. Let's start by opening up the help system. To do that, press F1 or press the question mark button. Once the help system displays, we're already in the user guide. We're going to go to inventory, and then from inventory we're going to have a look at products. In this lesson we're going to go through the products module in detail, look at all the available tabs. We'll be looking at the help system, and we'll also be looking at the product screen itself. So let's start the product screen. From the navigation menu in Readysell, go to products. This displays the products list view, and we'll be walking through these details. First of all, we're going to want a product which has some sales. So I'm going to go down the list a little and find a product. This one here has some sales, so that'll be a convenient one to use. You should do the same if you're doing this exercise on your system. Okay, so the product screen starts with a header which has some summary information about the product at the top. The products window has some custom buttons, one being the merge button. The merge button allows you to join two products together, and you can select the one to keep. The merge button is here on the toolbar on the top of the screen. There's a populate from price book button. This allows you to freshen fields from the price book. So this product here may have entries in the price book, and I might want to update the information on the screen. So to do that, I'll click populate from price book. The system will ask me if I want to override the data. I say yes, and then any fields on this screen that can get refreshed from the price book will be. If the descriptions and the prices are different in the price book, they'll copy over. The extract price levels button allows you to extract just the price levels for this button from a different product. So it's a very unusual feature and really not used that often, so we wouldn't worry about the details of that today. The related button exists on almost everything in Readysell. Products may have serial numbers, may have contracts, may have office brands messages, and may have price book entries. These options will only display for a product if these entries actually exist. So for our product, let's go and have a look at the related button. So this one has contracts and office brands messages, doesn't have serial numbers, and it may have price book entries. You click on any of these options to display the contracts that the product's on, any communications messages to do with sending information about this product's up to office brands or receiving them back, or any price book entries for this product. Products has an associated products button, and what the associated products button does, it shows you all other products that either make use of this product or can be used by this product. Now, for that button to display, you need to have some associated products set up, and what the associated products do, they allow you to do things like load data onto your system for all toners that go with a particular printer, and then those toners will display in the associated products button, and you can then navigate around the tree. So let's have a look for this product, see if there are any associated products for this item. Okay, so There's the associated products window. There aren't any associated products currently for this product. In order to create some, you would go to the associated products button here, list, and go and create an associated product. I'm just going to make it related. Okay, and if I were to save this product, now when I go to the associated products button, that will show me all products associated with this one, which is this Victory exercise book at the moment. There can be many of these for any product, and there can be many kinds of associated products. Now let's start looking through the fields on the product header. The most important field is the product ID. Like the rest of Readysell, we have a code. It shows here on the list view and here on the detail view, and this code is your main way of looking at the product. So if you were to type in an identifier for the product, the most common thing you'd type in is the product code. There's a category in every product, and the category is very important. The category determines how the product is handled for sales reporting purposes, and it controls how the product is handled for GL purposes. The full functionality of categories is described elsewhere. The categories are defined over in System Administration under Product Categories. Let's have a quick look. Here are all the product categories on the system, of which this product is one of them. So if we were to say expand all the categories, the beginning or root node on every category shows all the accounts to be used. And if we have a look, most products are in these branch categories in the end. So on any category, you can see the products that are in it. Products have a status. They are active, archived, discontinued, or obsolete. And as the reference guide tells you, the behavior of the product depends on its status. So active products can be used for anything. Obsolete products aren't picked up automatically in purchase runs. Discontinued products are not even available for manual purchases, and archived products don't appear on the screen. So an archived product is very similar to a deleted product, and you can't see archived products at all on any of the searches unless you expressly ask for them. Now we'll go back on the user guide and go to the product details, product status tab. Okay, so the product status tab is this tab here, the first tab on the product detail view. So let's walk through the fields on the product status tab. To start, the first field is the overall rank. The overall rank is a rank of that product compared to all other products on your system. There's a process that can be set up to calculate ranks. So the overall rank, the quantity rank, the value rank, the margin rank, and there's one more, margin rank value. Then those ranks are calculated by an overnight process, and you can configure how that is calculated, set to run, and then it'll rank your products based on those various criteria. The overall rank results from adding up each of the others. So a product with a rank up in the first 100 is a really top performing product, and obviously a product with a rank of 50,000 is not performing particularly well. The GP now is the GP % that you would receive if you were to sell that product right now. So it's from the default sell price. It's normally the GP percent that applies to the list price. Date created is the date at which the product was created, and date created exists for all records in Readysell, so it's just consistent with the rest. The original sell price and the price is the price the product was when the product was first created, and the was price is the most recent sell price that applied to this product within a period. Now, it's normally about 3 weeks. There's a setting, so if you were to change the default sell price for a product, the old sell price gets put in the was price and it stays there for a period of time, and then it gets replaced. The was date is the date when the was price was last set, and there's a new related field called date last change, sell price change, date of last sell price change, and that's going to show you the date of the last sell price change even if it's out of the was period. The was price only runs for a period and then it clears out automatically. The date change sell price change field will stay there forever, so it gives you a permanent record of the last change. The last ordered is the date when the product was last ordered as a purchase order through Readysell. The last shipped is the last sell date. The last category end is when the last category ended, and the margin rank value is another rank. Those are these fields here. Last ordered, that's a date. Last received date, last shipped date, and the last category log end date. Now this last ship date and last received date, they're both very important fields because you can use those to rationalize your product range. If something hasn't shipped for a year but was created in the last 3 months, say it was created a year ago but hasn't shipped for 6 months, that would mean that the product has a long time on your database but it's not performing, and so you can use date created, last shipped and last received together with quantity on hand and the ranks to rationalize your product range and determine which products should be maintained. That's partly why these fields are at the top of the first status tab. Now on the status tab there are 3 sub-tabs, and the first one is the image, which shows an image that relates to that product if any image is available. If there's no image, it's blank, and you can drag images and drop them into here. So if you have an image for the product but nothing displays, you can get the mouse on the images folder and drag that image and drop it here, and the image will import automatically and show on the product file. There is a sales by period tab and a purchases by period tab. Let's look at them on the status window. Sales by period. So this shows each month. So Readysell uses period to mean month. How many have sold and the value and the gross profit percentage. If you want to see the details of each of those fields, that's all covered in the user guide. And then there's the purchases by period. We haven't been purchasing this product, but each month that we had purchases, they'll display here. Now let's have a look at the General tab on products. The General tab contains information which isn't quite as important as the Status tab, but still critical to our product. So let's move our user guide back one, and then we'll go down to the General tab instructions, and we'll walk this through in parallel with the actual live product screen. So we have manufacturers, models and images on the top of the General tab. manufacturer, model, and images. The manufacturer is the card of the organization that builds the product. The manufacturer is different to the supplier because the manufacturer actually builds or imports the product, while the suppliers are those people that you buy the product from. The model is really a provision in case it's needed. Really, it's not used as such. We use the product itself to stand for the model when we're dealing with machines and service work. So normally you won't need to touch the model field. The image name is again something you won't normally touch. This will load automatically from the price book where possible. The image name also will get updated automatically when you drag and drop an image into the image field here over on the status tab. There are a number of tabs: description, alternate ID, associated product catalog, kit items, web categories, and parts on the general tab of products. As the user guide says, the description is a note about the product, and that description will be updated automatically for any product that comes from the price book. The alternate IDs tab are barcodes and supplier codes for the product. It's particularly important you understand the inner versus outer barcodes. So let's have a look at how that works. Here on the alternate IDs, I have a number of alternate IDs for this product. Now this one is an inner barcode. This one is an associated product that we created earlier. This one is a supplier's code. If the unit on the alternate code is the same as the default cell unit, you don't need to specify it. So this entry, for example, is specifying a default cell unit and a cell unit, and it doesn't need to. It's fine to leave that empty. Now, if this were an inner barcode, you will need to specify the will not need to specify the unit. But if it is an outer barcode, you will have to. So let's change it to an outer barcode. So an outer barcode will normally be in a unit different to the unit you sell it in. So in that case, you would have to go and specify what the barcode is. So say this outer barcode stands for a box of 10. The alternate code there is just for whatever unit that product sells in. Same here, this is the supplier's code for the product. You can get more information on alternate IDs from the user guide. Take care to consider this, creating the outer barcodes. You use a barcode scanner to create them rather than typing them in as much as possible. Now, associated products, as the user guide says, are used for products that are linked to this one for purposes such as being free products. There can be a limit on free products and automatic substitutions, and also just products that work with this product, like consumables that happen to fit parts that are related. So we have one related product in this one, and if you were to create a new one, you can see the range of features that are available. A free product, it makes provision for when you sell one of the main product, they can get one of these free. So this might be, in that case, a bag of jelly beans, right? So you buy 10 of the primary product, get a free bag of jelly beans. There is a paid product that can go with this one, and that's where, that's where, for example, whenever you buy a printer, you might have to buy a spare toner with it. If that was your policy, for example, then you'd put the spare toner in there, and every time you'd sell that product, you would add the other product underneath. You can have cross sells, so that's like the famous hamburger chains. Do you want fries with that? Whenever you sell one product, particularly say at a retail environment, again, let's pick our printer, then a list of all the compatible cartridges that go with that product can display. Cross-sell is very powerful, but you need quite a bit of work is involved to set up the related data to get the cross-sell to work for you. Okay, we're not going to save that, but associated products, try to see if you can get data to be imported for your associations. If you're going to use it, then you don't want to spend the labour to create them manually, so they're generally not available from catalogues. You're going to have your own data source, but if you can get a data source, and some dealers have data they may wish to share with you, then you can loading up this data can make particularly service work be very helpful for service work, because you can see which parts fit in which machines. It's very useful. The user guide gives you more information about the various options. The catalog tab is just a list of all catalogs this product appears on. So this product is on a number of catalogs on different dates. It just shows you the history. You generally wouldn't expect to use that very often. The kit items tab allows you to construct kit products. So if this were a kit product, you can put a range of components in here. So say you were selling, well, imagine you had a deal going where you could buy a printer, a large one, but if you did buy the printer, you can get a cutter and a stand and a spare paper tray. You could make a kit product, and then you'd put all the components in here, and then when you sell the kit product, the stock of all the components would automatically go down at the same time. So we can go, for example, you would go here, you'd say, it knows what the kit product is, so you just have to find the component. So you'd find the component here, and you specify the quantity, and you'd keep doing that until you built up. I'll add one as an example. You keep on doing that until you built the required list of components, but you generally make a new product first, because you want the kit product itself to be a non-stock line, and then you would put all the main product and all the components in here, and then you'd sell the kits. You might call this, printer kit, 10 pages per minute, and then you'd put all the parts in and you'd sell the kit itself to the customer. That would appear on their invoice. There is an option to make the breakup of the kit components appear on picking slips, and also they can be made to appear on the invoice, and they always appear on the customer's history. There's two kinds of kits. This one we're talking about is the sell-as-you-go kit. There is a manufactured kit where you run a process to construct all elements of the kit into a stock line at a later time, and that's not used very much, so it's not beyond the scope of this lesson. Web categories is something you probably won't need, but if you need it, it's crucial. The categories that Readysell use can only exist once for each category name. So for example, if we have a look at our categories, you'll notice that there's names on here like furniture. I'll illustrate with a product. So by default, each product only occurs once. So under exercise books, this product can only be in one category, because on the product itself, the category is shown as a field on the product and there's only room for one. So if you look at this product we're using, you can see how there's just one category. This one is in this colourful coloured cardboard category, and that's the only category it can be in. But if you need to have a website, and on the website you want to show one product in two places, so for example, if you had this product on special and you wanted to show this product amongst the cardboard colourful cardboard items, but also you want to categorize it amongst your specials category, then you can run your website from this web categories list. You'd copy all your categories in, and then you could go and create duplicate branches for the same category and make it display in more than one place. And parts is a list of parts that can be used on a product for service work, and the parts have an expected life. So if this were a printer and a part was a roller, that roller might last 60,000 click counts. So by specifying the parts that go with this product when it's used for service work, you can direct your mobile app for your service technicians to show the correct products. You can make service work easier because they can just tick the products they've used or the ones they want to order. And also you can get your machine service reporting to track things like whether products that are used in the machine need a credit claim because they haven't performed up to their expectations based on the warranty you'd expect on the product. There's a lot of information you can drive, a lot of improved workflows you can drive by specifying the parts on your printers if you're using service work. If you're not using the service module, you really won't need to touch this area. For more information on those tabs, web categories explained more fully here in the user guide, and parts is also explained in the user guide. Now let's roll our user guide back and go to the next tab on products, which is the sell prices tab, sell price levels. Now Readysell defaults to fixed sell for price levels, but you can change them. You can have price levels that are markup from cost. It can have a whole lot of methods of calculation, fixed sell, current cost. You can do none too, because there's a override method where you can override the price level in particular cases where you want to. So you're going to have a price level that's fixed sell, but you want to override it just for once. And product categories can override those. So let's have a look at sell price levels. Here's the tab. Readysell can have any number of price levels. You can go and create them. You can go and override a particular level if you just don't want the level at all, or if you want to, let's go and do that. This one is currently fixed sell. We can change that to be current cost. And now this price is going to ignore the fixed sell and will just calculate based on the current cost of the product. We could then go and put a markup in, let's say 100%, and the sell price will calculate for that markup, and as cost changes for this product, that individual price level will change with cost, and for all other products this government price level will stay at a fixed sell. You can go to system administration to price levels and change the whole price level, which applies to all products. So let's have a quick look at how you do that. in system administration there is price levels here, and each price level has a calculation method. So if you wanted to make government, for example, be a markup from fixed sell or from current cost for all products, you just change it here like that, and then every product would automatically calculate from current cost and would ignore the fixed sell. I don't want to do that in this case, and I'm just going to put this back. Now it's back to fixed sell. There can be competitor price levels, so if you're integrated to data scraping servers so that the competitor prices display, they can display under here. You can have other sell prices you use for particular groups of customers, and if you had say another government price level that applied as government plus or minus 1%, you could add that underneath here. So that's all controlled by the product price levels. These price levels also can be locked in by contract to customers, or they can be permanently linked to a customer. Now let's have a look, and the user guide again gives you a fuller explanation of all of the price level options. Now let's go and look at our next module in products, or our next tab in products under price levels, which is product sites. Now, each product can have many sites. You'll generally just have one site, but if for example you bought a lot of stock for education, you may wish to have another site to isolate that stock. Also, if your business has more than one physical location, perhaps in different cities, then each of those locations would list here, and the stock for each of your sites displays. Now, for each site, there are a number of tabs explaining more information about each site, and that is the locations, that's the individual locations inside the site, the quantities, any movements at the location you have highlighted, and any purchase run items. This gives you, the user guide gives you a full breakup in more detail about what the information on those tabs means. Locations tab gives you a variety of ways of managing the stock that's in that location. The quantities tab gives you a full breakup of the quantities for the product. The movement tab shows you the movements history for the product, and the purchases tab shows you purchase runs that have been applied for that product. So I'll quickly run through those in the live system. There's our general information. Here are the locations. So this stock, the 61 that we have on hand for this product, is actually stored in a number of locations. These are the locations. The warehouse default location, some's in B1 and some's in B2. You can see the quantity in hand, and you can see that the B1 is the primary location for picking from. You can see other information about the location. These min-max levels are used to replenish stock from one area of the warehouse to another. And the supply type, generally you want your supply type to be allocated for most items. In stock is only used where when you sell it, you want to sell all of it for a sales order line. You don't want to sell don't want to supply part of a sales order line. So generally allocated is the most common supply type. And then quantities, as per the user guide, gives you a full breakup of all the quantities that apply to that product. What's the net on hand is how much is on hand list what's on sales back order plus what's on purchase orders, and stock getting transferred in or out from other warehouses, stock transfer pending where stock's being picked, stock on a purchase order and a lay-by, the quantity that's been allocated. If you want to see further breakup of that, again, as we just saw, it's over in the user guide. The movements are a list of physical stock movements that have happened for this product. Take notice of the transaction time. There's a rolling quantity on hand figure here that shows the quantity in hand after each transaction. Now that's calculated by sorting by date and time and is right 99% of the time, but there are cases where transactions are delayed and you can get a case where the quantity in hand on the right here doesn't make sense because the date and time of the transaction wasn't posted exactly in the sequence that you would expect, but overall it's correct and it's almost always right. There's some unavoidable cases where we can't always get the sequence exactly, the order in which they were actually calculated. The locations just show you which locations were affected. The purchase run items tab you'll hardly use. That just shows you any purchase runs that exist for that product. Now we'll go and have a look at our next tab, being suppliers. And we're going to continue keeping our user guide in sync. So we'll use the back button to go back to our products user guide page, and then we'll click on product suppliers to see information about product suppliers in the user guide. And as always, the user guide gives you a wealth of information about product suppliers. The buttons are emphasized here because we do maintenance on product suppliers. Now mostly when you're doing maintenance of product suppliers you should do it through purchase runs, but you can do it from here for casual updates. Just have a look at the training lesson on purchase runs to see how you can mass update product suppliers from purchase runs. It's a bit more powerful way of doing things. And this show product supplier stock levels is a particularly powerful button. It needs some setting up work, it needs some data feeds, but it can save you sitting all day on web pages looking up stock. So let's have a look at these on a live product. This product only has one product supplier, but any product can have any number of product suppliers, and each product supplier has got its own cost. So if you buy a product from a importer and a wholesaler, the cost from each will be logged separately on the system, and when you receive the stock from the wholesaler, that'll change the wholesaler's cost and it won't affect the cost from the importer, and that's quite important. And as we were saying, this show supplier stock levels button, providing that's set up, if I were to highlight this supplier for this product and show that button, then press that button, then if it was set up for this product, then the stock level at the supplier right now would show, and you could see if the supplier's got it before you go and generate a purchase order. Now we'll have a look at the serial numbers list. So serial numbers is really simple. It's just a list of serial numbers. And again, for more information on serial numbers, go to the serial numbers page in the user guide. You can press F1 of course just from serial numbers to see it, and this gives you more information about serial numbers. The in stock, if you were to create a serial number, it's going to default to being not in stock. Let's go and create one. Okay, so there's a property of serial numbers called in stock which you can't see on this list view, and if you're working with serial numbers, that is very important. That tells you whether you've got that particular serial number available to you or if it's been sold. So I've created a new serial number. This one is assumed to be in stock. When you sell it, it'll clear that out. It won't be in stock anymore, and then you won't be able to sell it. You only can sell the ones that are in stock. Now we're going to look at product units. Okay, this product is allowed to be sold in a number of product units. Let's go and look at the user guide and see what the user guide can tell us about product units. As the user guide will say, that there are a number of units on the product by default, and all those units can either be they can be allowed to be any unit at all, or you can constrain which units can be used with a product. For example, if you have a product that now let's have a look at product units. Product units are crucial to how your inventory and your warehouse system is managed. The default buy unit is a unit in which costs are quoted, and this is a property of the product supplier, as is the buy ship unit and the default order unit. So let's have a look at these three units on product suppliers. So on the supplier, there's a default buy unit. That's the unit that the cost is quoted in. So if this cost is quoted by each one, as it is at the moment, that's correct. But imagine the cost was quoted for per 10, then you'd have to change this unit to be 10, and what the system would do is it would divide this cost by 10 every time to work out the cost of each stock unit. The default order unit is the unit which you order in. So this is the unit that goes out on your purchase orders. So that unit is normally one for most products, and those products where you buy it in a unit bigger than the unit you stock it in, then this would be a multiple of 1. Okay. The buy ship unit is simply the unit they ship it back to you in. So you might order it. Imagine we ordered this in, say, a pack of 10. Let's say pack 10. Let's work through a little example of this. Okay, so I want to order it in a pack 10. Cost is quoted by the 1, and they ship it back to me in 1s. Now that would handle that complex situation with the supplier. And normally all 3 units are the same. The cost would be quoted in the same unit that you order in, and they would ship it back to you in the same order you order in. But you could have a case, for example, where cost is quoted per ream, or even but you have to order by the sheet and they ship you reams back. So there is a need sometimes to make those different. Now the other key unit on the product, the 4th unit on the product, is the default sell unit. This is the unit you sell it in. So in our case, we're ordering it by 10. We might sell it by each pack 1, or we might default to selling it by the pack 10. So let's put pack 10 here. Pack 10. Okay. The system will only let me sell it as one of the units that are allowed for this product. So that's where the product units comes in. This is a list of the units that are allowed for this product. I want to change the sell unit to be a pack of 10, but I can't because the product unit list is restricting the units I'm allowed to use. So in order to sell it as a pack of 10, I have to add the pack of 10 to the allowable units for this product. Pack 10. 10 is now allowed for this product. Now when I go over to the settings and try to change the cell unit, the system will let me select pack 10. Okay, so just to reiterate, product suppliers have 3 possible units that affect the way you buy stock, and the product has a unit that determines the default way you sell it, and we manage the way those 3 units interact by specifying on the product units tab the units allowed for the product. Now if I delete all product units like this, now I can use any unit at all. I have not restricted units, so if I go to settings and I try to change the default cell unit now, I'll be able to sell it in anything. Obviously there's risks there because there are products that just don't come in certain units. So if I had a really expensive product like a $100,000 printer, I wouldn't want them us to sell a carton of 30 of them to anybody, so that unit makes no sense. So generally you do want product units to be filled in, and the system will fill in those product units automatically by itself, and you can do maintenance on them. This is covered in detail in the user guide, both in the description at the top about how those units work, as a troubleshooting explanation. We have some worked examples here of how to manage your units, and another example of using product units, and then there's a detailed explanation of which units I should use, and some information on setting up units with examples. So as you can see, units are both important and an area where users often have problems as far as understanding how the combinations work. So there's a lot of assistance for you in the user guide on product units, so make use of it. Now let's have a look at, we'll just finished product units. Let's look at price books. So the price book tab just shows any price book entries for this product. So easy code products will generally have a price book entry. You can see what the cost is, the sell is, the preferred supplier, anything that's on the price book about that product. And then having reviewed that, you can go and click the populate from price book button to refresh this data onto the product should you want to. Let's have a quick look at the price book instructions in the user guide. Okay, so all those fields are explained here. Now next thing we're going to have a look at is tax codes. So Readysell uses the same tax codes as the tax office. Obviously tax codes are important, and the tax codes control the tax rate used for the product, and there are 2 tax codes that you care about: the tax code for selling and the tax codes for buying. Now normally the tax code you buy on is INP, which is input tax credit. That means that when you would do your GST return, the GST for anything you purchase with INP will be claimed back from the government. And the tax code sell GST means that there's GST on this product when you sell it, and the normal GST rate will be charged. We're now going to have a further look through settings in a little bit more detail. Let's go and look at the user guide for settings. All the fields are listed here: tax code buy, tax code sell, the category type. Now this is something that's hidden from you normally, but it's really important from Readysell's internal workings point of view. Alright, the category type determines the kind of product this is. So this is a stock control product. If you change the category here to non-stock, then this will become a non-stock control product, and when you sell it, the stock on hand won't change. So it's important the great bulk of your products show stock control as the category type. The default cell unit we briefly talked about. The default cell unit doesn't have to be the same unit that you sell it in. So you can have a product that you stock in 1 but sell in carton of 30. And the advantage of having a default cell unit that's larger than the unit you stock it in is it allows you to optionally break something down. If you had a carton of 30, say it was pencils, you have 30 pencils per the carton, and then when you want to sell it, it'll default to selling the 30. Sell price is quoted by the 30, but if you want to, you can just sell an individual one by changing the unit here to each on a sale, and the sale will sell at that unit. So let's have a quick look how that would work on sales. What I have to, in order to do that, I have to save this product. So I'll go and save it, and then I'll start sales, and I'll put this product in with the carton 30 on it, and then we'll see what happens when we change the unit at the point of sale. Okay, so we're going to do a new sale. Then on the new sale, we'll select this product. And you'll see that the sell unit came up as 30 and it sells for $36. Now, because we've not restricted the units at all, I can pick any unit. Okay, like, let's go and sell it as a pack of 1, and you'll notice the sell price will map down. Okay, now let's change the quantity ordered to be 30. And because we've sold 30, we can change this sell unit back to carton of 30 and change the quantity ordered back to 1. Now if we're barcode scanning, the system automatically remaps those units, so as you scan them in, it'll show 1, 2, 3 ordered. When you get to 29, the unit would still be that each unit, but when you got to 30, it'll flip it to a carton of 30, and if you're to scan 31, it'll change the quantity ordered from 1 carton of 30 to 31 quantity ordered and change the unit to each. So it's quite sophisticated in a scanning context in the way it manages changing units. Every product has a product type. Now most products are going to be standard, but there is a product type for all of the unusual products that we have to manage, such as hire charges and labour, etc. Now you don't normally have to worry about these options, but just be aware that they're there. And if you need more information, as always, refer to the user guide, and it will list out the types for you that are available, give you more information. Every product has a warranty code. Normally this is blank, but the warranty codes can be set up to handle situations such as 12 months warranty, 24 months warranty, even complex warranty situations such as 12 months warranty by your own business, and then after that warranty by a third party, and after that perhaps warranty even by a manufacturer. So there's a lot of fine tuning available on warranty should you need it. Products have a volume, simply the cubic volume they use, and that's only used by freight handling, such as when we use the IFS freight optimization to optimize your freight, then volume becomes important. Products have a lead time. Now suppliers have a lead time as well. Normally you won't use the lead time on the product, but you can if, for example, a supplier had a lead time of 3 days, but one particular product had a lead time of 1 day because the supplier has 2 warehouses, and that product, when you purchase it, gets to you quicker from the local warehouse. You can override the supplier's default lead time, and that affects calculation of ETA and purchase orders. Products have market segments, and this is useful for the service module. This controls the expectations, the performance, as far as how often technicians are allowed to go back and repair that product, and it affects our service reporting as far as callbacks in the service module. Readysell comes preloaded with a standard set of market segments that you can set up, and that is covered again in the user guide in more detail. If this product was sold as a machine, then this product can be allowed to create a particular machine template when you sell a machine from a particular template when you sell it. That's part of the service module. The payment term in this product can be different to the payment term in other products. Now that's a bit unusual, but you can always do it. So even for a customer, anyone who buys this product, for example, labour, you can make the payment term on labour be right now, because you don't want to wait for getting paid for labour. But for normal products, you have your normal payment terms. All right? The minimum sale quantity is useful if you sell. It's normally actually used by wholesalers more than business to business customers, but what it is, it restricts how many the customer can buy. So even if you stock it by the each, you might say we stock it by the each, but customers have to buy at least 5. Could be useful also if you had something on special, for example. Got to buy 5, got to be a multiple of 5 in order to sell it. The loyalty points gained and loyalty points redeemed are simply that. They're the default loyalty points gained and redeemed for the product. There are a lot of overrides for them, and by default they load from your price book, but you can have additional rules about bonus points for customer, points multipliers for customer, points overrides on the product category. So there's lots of other options in there, but normally these are the points that you'd gain, and these are the points that would use to redeem for this product. There is a number of settings here about serial numbers for sale and for purchases. Normally you'd set them both true if this was a serial number product, and both false if it wasn't a serial number product, but you can set them to be asynchronous like this. So if you had a product that when you sell it you wanted to log the serial number, but say it was a phone and there was lots of them, you don't want to log the serial number as you receipt it, you can turn receipting of serial numbers off, but selling of serial numbers on. The was price, you can turn off calculation of that was price you saw earlier over on the status screen if you want to. You can turn off allow sell price discounts, so whatever the contract prices say, this product won't sell as a discount. For example, if it was an obsolete product that you're getting rid of, you wanted to put a super special price on it, you might stop all other discounts. Stock take preset items is a very specialised thing about having it automatically included in certain stock takes. You generally wouldn't use that. Again, gift registry, you'd have to be running a gift registry to use that. Exclude for min-max update run is important. You can get the system to recalculate your min-max stock levels, and if you do, some products the system's just going to be poor at calculating them. So for those products, you're going to want to exclude them from the min-max update run, set your own min-max for them, and you're telling the system that whatever happens, just keep the min-max that I specified for this product. So if I wanted to use that, I'd go over to the product sites, I would go and over to the quantities, and I'd go and set up the min-max levels for that product, and then I'd go back to my settings and I'd set the system to exclude them from the all updates. Now this little tab down here, ignore catalog data, is really important, and that's something you'll use quite a bit if you're automatically importing data from a price book, whether it be catalog or not. And if we have a look at it's worth going back to the user guide here and go and have a look at those fields here in the ignore catalog data tab. The user guide gives you quite a good explanation, and I'd advise you to take your time to read and understand that. You have quite fine control over which fields update from the catalog. Often people don't want to update the name, because if you do any of your own maintenance of the name, you may want to keep them. Barcode, you normally want to let that through, and minimum order quantity, normally you want to let that through. The description is the note, the long-winded product description. The sell price, if you want to override a sell price, for example, where your unit is different to the price book, and you just want to keep your sell price even when the price book changes, then you would turn that one to true. This one's important too, because you normally do the sell price and the cost price together, but something to note is that when the cost changes, the buy unit changes, because the buy unit is the unit that the cost is quoted in. You can't just change the cost, you've got to change the buy unit on the primary product supplier. As a result, there are many cases where, well, a significant number of cases where you'd want to disable the cost. Generally, you wouldn't want to change supplier, but you would let the category change. So that's important, something that you should be using, and that's really worthy of a careful review. Finally, there's a custom fields tab. You can add an unlimited list of custom fields to a product. Now, if I wanted to do that, I'd have to go down to administration, to custom fields. Here, custom fields. I'd have to define a custom field. So say I was reviewing my products and I wanted to tag the products that I wanted to get rid of. Alright, so I could make a new custom field, and I could say, you know, I could call this one sale product, because I want to put it in sale and sell it off. I can make a group of similar products if I want, and I can specify the type. I'm going to make this one be a boolean, which is a checkbox. Alright, and then I can say, now I've got a field, I have to say where this field applies. So I'm going to say this field applies to products. And then I would save that custom field. Now, a task would run at the end of the day, which would populate that custom field onto all products. Now, one way of illustrating how that works is that if I were to, for example, make a new product now, and had a look at the custom fields, then the new custom field I've just created would be on that new product, and at night when the update task runs, that custom field will be on all new products. And this lets you go and just put a tag on products. You can report on these, you can do analysis by it, and just you may have products like include in the next sale, move to the other warehouse, whatever your requirement is. Create a custom field and attach it to the product. Well, that completes our detailed review of products. There's a lot more information about products in the user guide, so I can't go through all the details here, even though I'm trying to give you a reasonably in-depth understanding. You really need to use the user guide as well as this video to get the most of your product file. I hope this is helpful, and as always, contact Readysell support if you have any other questions. Thank you.